Welcome to Red, White, and Buffalo. I'm Adam, and here's my co-host Zilla. Today, it was a rough game, but hey, we're gonna keep it positive because we battled our hearts out, and that's all that matters, baby.
A little venting, but
Yeah, a little venting, just a little bit,
because
but
all of
come
us
on, we
want
have
to.
to.
We all want to. Yeah, we all want
I
to.
mean, we all have to talk, the bullshit that happened, but that's just how it goes,
All right. Okay, so I'll kick around our little overview of what we're gonna try to cover today, as usual. So, again, the great game, end of the day. We'll talk about the ups and downs of that. That's the biggest thing of the week. And then of course, Bass, man, we jinxed him, right? Talking about how great he was, and he gets
Yeah.
a miss. Um,
Jesus,
yeah,
that is so funny. I just realized we
yeah.
did talk about him last.
I brought it.
Jeez.
Cursed. All right, we'll get into that.
Oh,
We'll get into that. So then, missed opportunities in general. I think that was kind of like just a big kind of like
yeah.
pattern with that game. And
It's just
stay
one of those
positive.
games.
I think the stay positive. We'll talk about the high points
Hmm.
of it too. We'll talk about the stats, which were pretty amazing. I think honestly.
One-sided,
Yeah.
should I say?
Yeah. Which, yeah, we'll get to that. I don't want to get into all this now. I want to say so much about all this right now, but the Knox hit, which is kind of funny, I thought, and it was also brought in someone else that kind of stepped in, so we can talk about Quentin Morris, and then Josh Allen running. We'll touch on that one more time. I don't want to beat this dead horse, but something hit me when I was out watching this game, and I said it to the person next to me who looked terrified when he's running, and then as usual, we'll close up like that and we'll kind of talk about projections for next week. So, if you want to, let's go ahead and just talk about that dirty, dirty game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was definitely it was a game, that's for sure. It was, I feel like we definitely dominated the game for the most part, but we just could not finish at times, and we definitely did not get to where we wanted to be by the end. So it was rough to see. It
Yeah.
was it
And
was it was tough.
I think what made it so hard is that we did the usual starting strong. This is also the first game where we've seen like where we didn't just finish out. You know what I mean? We kind of fell short in a few
Right.
situations. We've been spoiled. The last two games were exceptional. Last season was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the not being able to complete it at certain times, and even stuff like Josh doesn't typically fumble. That's
Yeah. It
uh,
was, and that gave them a really short field. The
yeah,
couple, like going into it just sucks because like it just goes into like Tyler Bass, like his first miss on the road since week two of, like, I think it was last year or the year before.
yeah.
That it was just okay. That doesn't usually happen.
We bring
Okay,
up
then
we brought up how he's such a stellar kicker, and that three we could have used, and it was like,
right. Then the fake spike too.
yeah,
That like in the moment, yeah, okay, could have been cool. I don't even know if it was a fake spike or an accidental, because he kind of fumbled it, like when he spiked, like when it got
yeah.
hiked to him. I don't know. It was just a
The
weird,
the
like,
McKenzie
stuff like
final the
that.
McKenzie final play, like I feel like he
Yeah,
could
the
have like
final
threw that out of
play.
bounds or something, like if
Like,
he,
do
yeah,
something, like
yeah,
run backwards even to get out of bounds. Like,
yeah.
like anything, dude. Like, why do you just go down? Like,
I
it's just
mean,
like, it was just like constant. It felt like constant mistakes. Like,
yeah,
just like, but that's the thing. Like, it was all fixable stuff, and that's like why, like, I do want to, like, also stay positive about this game,
yeah,
because we learn and we grow from this, and that's what makes champions, and
yeah.
that's what's gonna make us. And I don't see us having another game like this, because I feel like they're going to learn from it.
I think we both agreed on this. I think in the beginning of the podcast, like in the beginning of the season, where on the pre-episode when we talked about how like one of our losses is going to be a division rival at their home.
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
it is. You know what I mean?
It
So
always happens.
yeah, and I think it's significant. Unfortunately for me, I think what makes me even more mad is like it's not that our team had like a perfect storm of mistakes or
Uh,
little shortcomings this week. It's this hype train
mhm.
on Miami that's just like really eating at me.
It's
It's
just,
yeah,
and I told you before the week, I said I just want to beat them so bad, especially at their home, just because of all this hype they're getting over not nothing. Like,
yeah.
we shut them down, and it's just, that's why I'm just like, it's just tough. It's just tough because I wanted to beat them so bad, but that's how it goes in football, and that's what makes it fun and exciting too. Is like having these crazy games, and it's not like we got blown out, and like, we were there right to the end with all of our hurt players and
Yeah.
all of that. So it's just tough.
So
So
let's state the more obvious things, right?
yeah,
defense still played pretty stout for being like
D-
so thin, so thin.
yeah,
Yeah.
defense played so great, and they had four missing defensive backs, and then Ed Oliver also out, Jordan Phillips also out. I know Phillips isn't a starter, but we've talked about him. We talked about him last week. Definitely a game changer. He's huge for us in the middle.
Yeah.
Um, and they all still played amazing, dude. This game was honestly, I feel like one of our better defensive games we've had. And well, other than one defensive drive,
Yeah.
they played outstanding.
They almost held good enough if our offense had been firing on like normal speed, like what they've been achieving the last couple of weeks, like that would have been a win.
Right.
Even with the better defense.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
it was just the missed opportunities. It was just missed opportunities, but you know, the biggest thing is like we were saying, we just got to stay positive because if we did complete some of those missed opportunities, if we got I think if we got one field goal, that we would have won.
Yeah.
That if Josh completed that pass on fourth down at the end of the game, that was wide open. McKenzie on that breaker out to the outside, he was wide open.
Yeah.
He had yards of separation. He could have easily caught it, and he still had yards of like on the other side to run.
But
So like it would have been a clear cut touchdown if it was on the money.
it was a weird
And Josh
underthrow.
underthrew it.
Yeah, and it's like, I think
We can all agree Josh seemed a little emotionally
Oh.
detached from this game. Something was going on.
he was very angry from the start. Like I think one of the first
Yes.
few plays I saw him like slamming the football down when he fell short, and
Yeah.
I was like, that's not normal usually.
I like his aggressiveness,
Yeah.
but it definitely seemed a little what's the word I'm looking for? Like untamed. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just like it was a little reckless almost, it felt like. And he's had problems with it before. We've talked about that,
Yeah.
how his emotion gets the best of him at times, and that's when he starts getting a little wild, starts doing a little crazy stuff,
Yeah.
fumbles here and stuff like that. There was a few passes during the game where I was like, where's he throwing to? What is he doing? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
It almost becomes like his like competitiveness and his like frustration is starting to overshadow like his normal like calm, cool collectiveness to like
Yeah.
make it happen. So, but I mean, like again, like I said, it's easy to be two people outside, like fans watching it. Like
Right.
like McKenzie
We
at
don't
the
know what
end.
was going
You're like,
on.
McKenzie, why'd you do? It's like, dude, he's just thinking touchdown. Like get in there. You know what I mean? Or like
He was probably thinking, "Oh, get down, try to get out of bounds."
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna have time. Go down.
Yeah.
But like, realistically, if he just like didn't even try and went down right away, that would have even gave a couple more seconds. It might
Yeah.
have been they might have been able to get a snap. But we can't really argue. I mean, the 10-yard holding, we were in field goal range, or at least within a chance of even him taking like a career long try.
Yeah.
Like within a couple of yards, and that 10-yard penalty killed us.
Yeah.
That hurt so bad. That like right that happened, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy, but that was another missed opportunity. Just like it was just that was the name of the game all day, and it felt that way. Like it felt like every we had a sustained drive almost every single drive.
Yeah.
But then something happened, a penalty or something.
Now might be
Something along the line happened.
Now might be a good time to bring up those stats that you want to
Yeah.
point out. But I was gonna also add that Mitch Morse, not being there too, like could be a
Yeah.
major factor because maybe Josh felt more pressure than usual, because he's like a giant
True.
anchor, So yeah,
They did, I think, sack him 4 times, but I'm pretty sure we ended up with like 7.
yeah. Well, if you're ready to pull the stats out, I can keep on like talking something while you pull it up.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
trying to think-
I think I have it up right now, and we had right here defense. There was only one turnover, which was kind of weird. Us only.
I saw after the
Only
fact too that it was that Von Miller had no tackles. I mean, obviously he's still a presence, but that was quite
Yeah,
a
I
game.
wonder if he got double, triple teamed. It was
Yeah.
weird. It was a weird game for sure.
Yeah.
They definitely didn't get the amount of plays. Do you think it was just because our offense was on the field a lot? Like, I
Maybe
don't know.
that was almost a record, right, for the amount of attempts? I think they said in a game.
For Josh?
Yeah, on offense.
Or just in general? Total 90?
No, Bills.
90
Bills.
total
Bills
plays.
forever. I think they said 1996.
Yeah.
They almost eclipsed that record. Yeah.
Yeah, 90 plays, 497 yards to their 212. We had the same amount of yards per play. We rushed for 115 to their 41. We had 7 penalties to their 4, 1 turnover to their 0. Overall, it's just 21 first down to their 8. It's just 11 of 18 on third down. Not bad again.
Yeah.
2 of 3 on fourth. Like, it's just, if you just look at this stat line, you're just Josh Allen 400 yards to 186.
Yeah.
You look at all these stat lines and you're like, how? How did the Bills lose this?
You brought up a good point. You were like, if you took these stats and you brought them to like anybody else, and you were like, lay them on the table, take the names off it, like this occurred at a game.
Don't show the score. Don't show the box score. Just show the.
Who do you think won? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think won? Right.
But I would like to know what actually people thought on that.
Yeah. End of the day, I mean, it's just I guess they more efficiently like put points up with the less plays, and
yeah.
I mean, and
no,
the whole
I think
controversy
they just stopped us at a couple of times, stuff like that, and they just happen to score at certain times, and it's just how it goes at times,
Yeah. And then the Tua controversy, I thought he'd be out the rest of the game, so that was interesting.
Yeah.
And he pops right back in after halftime. You're like,
yeah, because right when Bridgewater came in, I think they got 4 and out immediately.
Yeah, I was like, this game's
and it was
about to
right
change.
after they had like a decent drive too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh boy, here they might actually start sustaining some drives, and that's when I was like, oh boy, this is going to turn into a competition. But then all of a sudden he got hurt. Then he came back, and they really weren't doing anything even when he came back.
No, Hill didn't have a big game.
Other than that one drive, where the 30 and the 40-yard catch. Outside of that, they did absolutely nothing. It was the short touchdown they had, and then I think that other rushing touchdown, and then what was the other touchdown they had?
Waddle got it once. Oh, they were short runs, right? I'm trying to think.
Two short runs, and then I think
Waddle for a touchdown.
A Waddle one or something.
Yeah. Maybe.
No, Crawcraft.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't even. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it was a weird game, but I going off of that too, like all the talk about Waddle and Hill, and Waddle, he got 102 off of 4 receptions only, and we pretty much shut him down. Other than that one drive, he had the 30 and the 40.
Yeah.
So pretty much 30 yards outside of the 2 big plays, and then. I'm pretty sure Tyreek finished for 2 for 33.
Yeah, he had a low game. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. We'll give
Let's clap it up for Tyreek Hill, baby.
Yeah, clap it up for that Buffalo D. Still.
Yeah, that Buffalo D with a combined 4 guys with a combined 3 career starts.
Yeah,
and I have to say. And their other cornerback, Benford, going out, too, who I unfortunately found out today he has a fractured hand.
Oh.
And that might be a long-term, a decently, I don't know what that will end up turning into, but I would say a fractured hand is not good.
Depending where that is, they may tape it up, or he might be out a long time,
It's definitely, I'm just praying that these injuries start going for us and not keep going against us, because it's just that can change teams. So we need Trey back. We need Dane back.
I'm wearing the Trey in memory
because we stay strong, baby.
I had the black hat for the funeral of the loss.
The morning,
and then Trey White coming back. Hopefully, no. I do want to say glass half full. The defense showed up still. That was great. And the offense, like we've seen games like that last year where things just weren't clicking, and it seemed like everything went wrong that could, And I mean, they still had the numbers. It is what it is. So I think we won't harp on it.
It was definitely one of those games where I leave it being like, I'm upset because we lost. Of course, I don't like losing, but I look back on it and I'm like, there's a couple of missed opportunities. There's a lot of good things to take away. Devin Singletary, nine receptions. James Cook got 4 receptions for 40 yards, had a couple good rushes. Zach Moss had a nice rush.
Yeah.
It was a lot of running back action. Like, all I'm saying is like everyone's gonna try to look at this as like this huge negative thing against us. And I'm going to keep this positive because we had so much positive, so much with so much adversity too. And we came out, we fucking battled, and we came out and we gave a good game. And from here on, we're moving and we're going to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So.
And the running backs, it looks like we got more variety. It looks like everybody pulled their part that game with the close numbers, when they keep it to running to burn the clock and all that. So, I mean, it's like they all look better. Like you said, James Cook. I'm excited to see what he's gonna be able to do. Moss still
Yeah.
keeps surprising me with that huge run he had. He had that break.
Can we agree that we feel like James Cook is going to eventually do? Like, I
I
just
mean,
feel like he's built to be our
I
guy.
feel
I
like
don't know why.
I feel like you
Why.
and I though have felt like that from the get go. Like right, we
Right.
have people who that we know are like, oh no no no. It's like no, I think he's gonna be the guy. He could
Yeah,
be.
because he like fits our need, like a good receiving back, but that can also run it. Like, I feel like once we start giving him ample opportunities, it's gonna work out very well. I don't know. I just feel like like Singletary's good, but like we've given him so many chances, and same with Zach Moss. Like I like him too, but like I just don't know. I feel like we should just start moving towards James Cook more and more, and I feel like that might be by the end of the season. We'll see that, especially one of the big talks from this game, and I've heard it on a couple of different things now, is our rush game.
Yeah.
Bills one sided 63 attempts from Josh Allen, and I'm like, yeah, I understand. It's definitely an issue, and it's
Yeah.
definitely a problem that we've brought up and talked about, even just to ourselves, multiple times
Yeah.
throughout the last year and a half, 2 years. I'm pretty sure I heard the stat that when Josh has had to throw over 45 or 40 something times, they are 1-6 in 7 games,
Yeah.
and that's not good.
I
That
mean,
means when
look back. How many games did he lead rushing? He was the lead rusher himself.
this
Yeah.
past game.
A bunch
This
of
past
games.
game.
A bunch of games.
Yeah, I
if you
know.
look
I'm
back,
just saying. Yeah, this past game
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
This past game again, he was leading for rusher and passer,
Yeah.
and it's just like,
That's not what you
it's
really
tough.
want to see. Hey, with that, I'll throw this in here then. So, I had someone sitting next to me. I went out to see it. If anyone caught the reel, I went to the Anchor Bar
Yeah,
here in Texas, and people
yeah,
next to me were like Bills fans in there, and they're like freaking. They're like physically bothered that he's running. They're like, oh, and I was like, this guy. We talked about this last week, and I don't want to beat this up, but I looked up.
yeah,
I looked up just to see it, and he's like comparable to Derrick Henry in height and weight.
yeah. Did you? What is his stat? Do you have him up
I
quick?
didn't have it up, but they're within like
I
10 pounds
wonder.
and like an inch height or something. Like they're so I was like, this guy is built pretty sturdy. Like
Yeah.
no one's worried
No,
about Derrick Henry running, right? I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
why are we worried about a guy? And he's smart. If you notice, even the other day, or the yesterday's game when he ran and he took off for this big run in between people dodging, and then he slides down,
yeah. He took a
perfect
slide.
timing. Doesn't even get touched. And I'm like, see, I was like, there's a lot of quarterbacks like Trey
Yeah,
who just gets crumbled.
they go up the
And I'm
middle
like,
like they're like a heavy running back. Like they're gonna
right,
yeah. You're like, yeah,
I'm just saying. I think he also. I think we've got a credit to him being a smart runner as well,
yeah,
and not just being a guy that just carelessly runs around and is an idiot. When he runs around, he
yeah.
doesn't. You could tell he's like watching out for his body and everything.
Most of his runs end with him heading to the sideline and stepping out, or him like he'll slide
So,
occasionally. So yeah, go ahead. Did you
so
find it?
Derrick Henry,
Yeah,
6'3", 247.
yeah,
Josh Allen, 6'5", 237.
yeah. See, it's
6
close.
pounds lighter, 2 inches bigger.
Yeah, see, it's very close. So don't worry about him. The
I'm
stats
just
say
saying.
it. The stats say it. It's
We
fine.
talked about it last
Yeah.
week. They literally talk like they complain and complain about running this. He's gonna get hurt. He's gonna do this. He's literally a running back, fullback, whatever you want to call it. But he has also a running awareness of that too.
Yeah.
He's not just most quarterbacks, even the ones that can rush all around. They don't necessarily have that like awareness as well,
Yeah.
and that's why like even Michael Vick would get hurt a lot and stuff like that because they didn't also have that awareness to be like, okay, I need to slide down. Okay, I don't need to get this extra yard. I can run out of bounds here, or stuff like that,
Yeah.
Or like I don't need to run on every single play. Like he's gotten good at like being a like a reasonable rusher essentially.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with all that 100%. I was going to
Yeah,
throw something else in that was not on the list, but it slipped my mind, but it might be for the best because
yeah,
we'll move on to something else. But
yeah,
I just want to talk about the Knox hit. I thought it was kind of funny when he took that hard hit,
yeah.
and I think everybody watching was like, "Ooh!" And then he just gets up, and then he goes to the sideline, and then he's like getting treated for a cramp on his leg.
Yeah, I was like, and then they're like, he's out. Then I'm like, is it head cramp? What is it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he definitely got messed
Oh
up in
yeah,
that hit.
but he definitely like shrugged that off. but big dude. But he's had injury problems in the past, so I was worried a little bit. But
Yeah,
I
I
just want
was
to
too.
bring up the point that I saw Quentin Morris. Right, Quentin Morris came in
Yeah.
for like a couple plays, and he made some decent catches too. So I'm like, that's nice to see
Yeah,
that.
2 for 22
Yeah.
actually.
Yep, that was I saw they were pretty significant, so that was nice to see that when Knox had to step out, like we just went right for it.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into like just again like it's definitely this team definitely feels like it's a next man up mentality. So like I feel like at any position we can take a hit or like like we did with our defense or like anywhere on the line anywhere and the next guy is going to step up and we're going to have a great they're still going to have a great game or we're still not going to really feel the effect that much like yeah, I know that our defense definitely hurt, but like honestly, this game, like we said, if it wasn't for the missed opportunities, would have been way. I feel like way different. We could have easily won this game like 40-20, 40-17. Like
Yeah.
it just would have been a different game. Like without without our with our full defense, but like that's just obviously a good excuse and argument to use after the fact.
No, I'm like, either way, we're good. I mean, honestly,
Right, right.
we have plenty of excuses, and I can also just admit that like there's mistakes made on offense. Like that's it. Like bottom line. So it's
Simple ones too,
we'll
though.
come back with it. We'll come back from this. I'm sure next week everyone's gonna be even more careful. We'll make sure we're not making the same mistakes. I'm sure Tyler Bass is taking this hard because that's like cutting his streak. You know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things. I'm sure it's gonna be an opportunity for correction, and I think
All I'm
that
going to say is coming out of this is that Josh Allen is the leading passer in yards, second in touchdowns. Only has 2 INTs and he's fourth overall in QBR.
and
MVP.
all those Miami fans and everyone else on the hype train can go ahead and talk about it. Like we'll see it week 15. How about that?
Yeah. We'll see you week 15
Yeah.
because we're definitely not at home. You're going to probably have to play. We had to deal with your heat exhaustion. Now you're going to have to deal with our snow, baby.
Yeah.
So let's see if you can let's see how well you guys can play in that.
And
So
hopefully
it's
by
the
then,
elements of the game, baby. Elements of the game.
hopefully by then we get a lot of our defense back and we're back to full form, and that'll be like the real matchup. We'll see what's.
I mean, obviously we're not getting Micah back, but like
Yeah.
we should be able to get a majority of everybody back.
Trey
and
back. Some
hopefully-
of these people, these minor lagging ones, hopefully they don't
Yeah.
go on for too long and they rest up and get back in. So
And obviously the big news with Hyde, that does suck losing him big. Like that's a big loss, and we
Yeah.
cannot deny that. Like that's going to be big on our defense, but I think we could definitely overcome it. We have some young guys, and it's this like like we said, next man up mentality. We have such a good team right now, and I just think if the next people just keep stepping up, playing well,
it's
what can we do?
It's
What can
on-
we do?
it's- yeah, it's-
He's 32 anyway. We do have to start planning for the next after sooner than later. Anyhow.
It's unfortunate, and like I think more than me being worried about the team not being able to overcome that, it's just like personally, like I feel bad if
Yeah.
his career's
Yeah.
over because that sounds pretty serious.
Next are something not something to mess with.
Yeah.
They could be whether you walk again or not.
Yeah,
Stuff
or
like that, so.
like some of these players had to make that decision, like Chris Carson or Peyton Manning. Like, do you
Yeah.
want to take a hit and get paralyzed, or does football mean
That's
that
what I
much
mean,
to you?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so yeah,
It sucks.
Yeah.
It definitely sucks because sometimes it does to people. It does really mean that much. Sometimes
Yeah.
it is just
Yeah.
it is bigger to them than just life. So
yeah.
it's crazy, but yeah, I do wish him the best, and I hope he comes back next year ready to go because it's going to be another championship run because we're going to win it this year and then we're going to finish it out again and win it next year. So we'll win it for him next year.
We've got 2 to 3 years based on like current contracts for the bulk of the team, so I think we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty good. So
We've got a couple year window here
Yeah.
that I hope we can get finish. I hope we get a true test though. I hope we don't get I don't hope that this isn't an injury filled year where we just have a bunch of bullshit
Yeah.
injuries and we never get a true team all year long, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't think it's that bad, and I think honestly our offense can carry us. They're
Yeah.
pretty far away. So
yeah, this game was just unusual and it was just perfect storm. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think I don't want to have a team either where like we have all these excuses. Like that's not. I don't want the excuse team where it's like all year it's like well because we didn't have our starters, But like,
Right.
but some
Right.
people are just not acknowledging it. Like all this hype, like half of these headlines about Miami like beating Buffalo, like they didn't even discuss the factor that we had a lot of people out. A lot of significant people out. It's not just
Yeah.
like oh. bench rider so and so got hurt in practice and he's on the bench. You know what I mean? Like it's not
No,
even.
it was like even our guy got hurt during the game, and then we actually had to have like we were already on our third and fourth string cornerbacks. We had to go to our fifth string as well.
Yeah.
So that means that's basically practice squad at that point that we had in as a starting cornerback. So
And did you see the
what can you
article? I
do?
think didn't they say that even was it Sean McDermott that said it when he's like we had people like playing positions they never played before. Like
Yeah,
they actually have
yeah,
people.
on the
Yeah,
offensive line
yeah,
because if there was multiple injuries on the offensive line, we had to shift it all around. And
yeah. I mean,
what can you do?
yeah. Two.
It's just how it goes. Sometimes it goes like that. It's early that like we were. Well, I don't think we really mentioned this, but like we do have to focus. Like it's week 3.
Yeah.
It's week 3.
You and I mentioned this like before, and I was like, so it's the one loss that we figured might
Yeah,
happen with a division rival, and it's
we
week
thought
3.
Pats,
Yeah.
but they're not good.
This isn't
So
this isn't like week 15 loss to Miami when we need to beat them. What I mean. Like so, I'm
yeah,
not concerned. I'm not concerned.
late in the season, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not like that. It's like it's early in the season. It's just like last week. Everybody was all on Miami with Tua and them all passing, and then they come in this game get 180 yards.
Yeah.
Tua gets or Tyreek gets 23. I mean, like that's how it goes, and that's why. And I mean, look at Colts and Chiefs. Who thought the 0-2 Chiefs after they or the what or should I say 0-1-1
Oh, 1-1.
Colts?
Yeah.
We're gonna beat the Chiefs. Like who thought that? Like no one thought that. Like
No.
come on, if you actually thought that, you were insane. Especially with how bad the Colts were to start the season,
And how
tying with the Jags, losing to the other team.
you could
Just it just
you could almost compare the Chiefs' performance to the Bills. They lost by a little bit. They were also having a great start to their season. Their game 1 and 2 look solid. Like,
yeah
I looked at them
yeah
as
they
like
did.
one. They're still a contender this year. Like I thought maybe we made
They
enough.
definitely are. They're
Yeah,
one of the better.
I thought maybe we made enough headway, and they lost a little bit with Tyreek Hill to like. But I'm like, no, I think so. This is the exact same thing that happened to them, upset by the Colts. You know what I mean?
I felt like it was just one of those games. Like
Except when it
it
comes
was
to the,
leading up to it.
I feel like when it comes to the Chiefs, everybody assumes it's an upset. If
Yeah,
they lose, but then with us, it's like, oh yeah, well Miami. It's like,
yeah.
Miami what?
I'm just like
It's still an
whatever.
upset.
Watch Miami go. Who do they play next week?
They're the Vegas upset
Who is
too.
it?
Um,
Vegas 0-3 this year. Did you see
yeah,
that?
I guess they're not doing so well.
Jeez, boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think Miami plays Bengals
Oh
at
yeah,
Bengals. They
yeah,
might lose that
yeah.
game next week.
I 100% expect them to have 3 to 4 losses before we see them again because they just
Easy.
yeah. We'll see.
I heard I listened to part of my take too, the podcast, and they were joking around today, but they're like, I could see them going. I know they joke around a lot on that, but they were like literally saying they could see Miami be 11-0. I was like, what?
I don't. I
I'm
don't.
like, here we go, getting carried away. I was like, not a chance.
Remember, I wrote
It's
you.
just
I
not a
wrote. I
chance.
think we were texting this morning. I'm like, or maybe Shane sent something. I'm like, all this is just getting out of hand. Oh, so them saying that
Yeah.
the Giants are like gonna make a run this year. I'm like, just because they're undefeated.
That's true. No, one of the undefeated teams. I'm like, yeah, till you lose to the Cowboys' backup quarterback tonight.
That is so ridiculous.
But yeah,
People
all
get out of
right,
hand.
yes,
Yeah.
this was fun.
Yeah.
I like we said, it's still all fun at the end of the day. It's still early on, and we're still an amazing team. Most people are still saying that we're still top, like we're still gonna be top 5. Like
And if
honestly,
not,
right now.
they're gonna learn.
Yeah, and we're still we're gonna teach them throughout the rest of the season why we're the best. So
Yeah.
let's going on to next week. Ravens at Baltimore. It's definitely going to be a big game for us because we need to come out and show a lot. I feel like we need to come out and we need to like teach them a lesson because
Yeah.
Lamar is having a dang season right now. He has 12 touchdowns. That's more than any team in the league.
What is their record right now?
They are 2-1 as well. So, but
Okay.
they also are 0-1 at home. So they've already lost at home.
Yeah.
Um,
Did Miami play them at home? That must be the loss.
Because
they just beat 'em, right? They beat 'em-
play them at home.
They beat them
at
up.
home.
Beat them
yep.
up. Yeah.
I
So
think it was at home.
yeah, I didn't know if it was home or away. So
They are Bills are a 3.5-point favorite as of right now. Not bad.
yeah.
But the matchup predictor on ESPN says 54% Baltimore. I personally think it's going to be a good game, probably close. I think our defense definitely is going to struggle at times, especially with the young guys in for a bit. But I do think this is going to be a battle because it's Lamar. He makes things happen. But we've been battle tested against Lamar multiple games, and I think we know how to play against him well. And we definitely have a good defense, especially a good defensive line to put him on, on check. So
Uh,
I think the final's going to be 28-24 Buffalo.
that's pretty good. Only thing I'll add to it is that I think we would. I think if we had our full defense intact, we felt like they'd be able to handle Lamar a lot easier. So yeah, with the young guys, with that being kind of thin, I think it's going to be a little more close. It's going to be little closer. So I might even say it might end up being like less than the touchdown. So maybe like 21-14. Like I don't know.
Or like 21-17, something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
24-21, something like that.
Between a touchdown or a little less. And
Right.
normally I think we'd beat them by at least like 10 or something if everything was
Yeah,
the way it should be right now.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel weird about Baltimore too. Like, what kind of team are they? Like, they definitely blew a bad lead. We've had success against them in the past, so
I mean, if we just look at our offense versus their defense, like Miami roasted them, and I mean, I don't. Obviously, they're not going to stand around with pie on their face for the next weeks to come. So I'm sure they
right,
stepped it
right.
up. But the fact that like our offense, I think, is even higher powered than Miami's. Like, I mean, I could see us doing that too. It just might be a shootout type thing, or where it's back and forth. Because if our defense
Right,
isn't as stout as usual, then
right.
that might be where it
I'm excited
differs.
to see. I'm definitely excited to see where our defense goes in the next few weeks and see who steps up. So we'll have to see, but I definitely think it's going to be a good close game, and I'm hoping for the best. But going off of that, I just want to say once again, thank you all for listening to us.
Yeah.
We definitely appreciate it, and we definitely appreciate all the feedback and everybody who's tuned in for us. I just wanted to mention our socials. We are trying to post a little more. Zilla did post the video on the bar. We're gonna
Yes.
try of the bar at the what's the song what's the song called, the shout
Shout,
song.
shout. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. We're gonna be doing stuff like that more. We're gonna try to do some more live streams coming up. It's just hard.
Yeah.
I finally got my one thing set up, so I'll be able to do it. But it's just maybe where like I'm just watching it and I'm behind it, I don't care, and then I just don't, and just record it like that. But
Yeah.
we'll see, we'll see. There's definitely gonna be more to come. I just want to say thank you to all of you, and yeah, definitely go Bills. We'll be back, baby. Time to beat up Baltimore next week.
Yes, sir. We'll be back.
Uh, yes, we will be back. But yeah, Red, White, Buffalo, we out, baby.
All right. See you next time.